What is happening? You're listening to episode 282 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Player 2, Nightcrawler. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? And it's Crawler coming at you.
That's right. It is Crawler coming at us. Guys, the music you just heard is from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. This is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, head on over to n64josh.com/audible and get my book for free, Another Castle. The chair I'm sitting in, the chair Crawler's sitting in from OPC, n64josh.com/OPC automatically saves you $10 at checkout. And the physical copy of my book is available at n64josh.com/anothercastle. With that, I'm going to jump over to the announcements.
Hey, listen!
Okay, the Animal Crossing podcast still going on. Crawler and I are going to record the Smash Bros. Cast one day. It's still happening. Don't worry, it'll happen.
One day.
It'll be there. It'll be there. Before the Smash Bros. Tournament, which is the 29th of this month. So I will have registration up. You can go to n64josh.com and find the Smash Bros. Tournament there. I will have the smash.gg page up probably tomorrow or Friday so that you can sign up if you want to play. And remember, the first place winner gets a $20 eShop card. Second place 10 and third place gets 5. So make sure to show up for that. It's a good time. I have launched a new podcast called the Twitch Chat Podcast. It is available on iTunes and Google Play, and of course on Podbean if you want to check that out. I think I'm like 6 or 7 episodes into that now. You can also watch the episodes on YouTube. If you make any kind of content, it is for you. If you're looking for any kind of music to listen to while you make your content or while you're streaming, make sure to look for N64Josh on Spotify, and you can listen to the music I make for content creators. You don't have to worry about DMCA or any kind of copyright issue. And if you need to use it for a podcast, I know the I See Dead Pixels podcast puts some stream vibes in their podcast, so you can go check those guys out if you want and hear some of the music there. But yeah, wherever you listen to music, literally everywhere, including Napster. It's hilarious when I get the email that's like, "You're live on Napster." I'm like, "What? Okay, I didn't even know it was still a thing." So, pretty funny. We got Mario Kart Mondays, Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're still having a good time with that. We're still competing. Sometimes we're having a good time with it. Crawler says sometimes. He gets to scream no periodically and give us all a good laugh. So that's always funny. And Game Club's going on. Donkey Kong Country is being played, and Saturday morning Splatoon's also going on 10 a.m. on Saturdays if you want to come get some games of Splatoon. So with that, let's jump on into what we've been playing. Crawler, you want to kick it off, man? How you been doing?
Good. Played a decent amount of Paper Mario this weekend. That was fun. I'm right up to I think, from what I've read and heard people talking about, the most Zelda kind of portion of the game. I'm in World 4, so I'm in the ocean, sailing around, and then you find a pretty cool spot to go to, and it's got shrines, 3 different shrines that are definitely take its cue from Zelda with wisdom and courage and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely got Zelda vibes. And it was funny. William was sitting here next to me, and anytime you trigger something in this game, he's doing the little Zelda jingle whenever you solve a puzzle. It's pretty funny. So he's definitely picking up the Zelda vibes from it as well. And so yeah, that was fun. That was all kind of most over the weekend is what I played there, and then Mario Kart on Monday. And I picked up Double Kick Heroes on, was that Tuesday it came out?
I believe so, yeah.
I think. Yeah, and I played a little bit of it today, and it's a fun rhythm game. I'm playing on, there's like 5 difficulty settings, I think. Oh, wow. I think I'm playing about in the middle, and it's definitely moving a little bit. And at least at the very beginning, I'm only using B and A for it. The controls are interesting because it's a beat, so it's not like the old games of like Rock Band or Guitar Hero where you have to press different buttons to cue different notes or what you're seeing on screen, but there are enemies running at you on the road that you're driving on, that the car is traveling, and A fires a high shot and B fires a lower shot on the road. So there's like two guns mounted on the back of your car, and so you have to like pick on each beat if you want to fire your low gun or your high gun on the road and attack enemies that are coming at you trying to attack the car. So it definitely comes into play, understanding it's a lot of things to look at, and you kind of just have to glance quickly up at the screen, like the play field of the road, and see where enemies kind of are that you need to focus on, and then shift back down quickly to the beat track and make sure you're staying on beat, and your gun gets progressively better if you keep the notes in succession going, and then it resets back down to a bad like pistol if you miss a beat. So it's pretty fun. It's definitely something that I think you'll see kind of a skill gap come about, and just like Rock Band and those rhythm games, you got to kind of get into a flow and really just be with it if you're gonna be successful. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
That's great. I also got some more time in with Paper Mario. Made a little way through checked out some of the autumn stage, and that's been cool. I still am just digging that game, and some of the power-ups and stuff that you're given along the way, I'm liking. And of course the writing, we've said it over and over again, the writing is great. And so of course some Mario Kart, a little bit of Animal Crossing, still trying to fire that up periodically. Haven't been doing a ton of gaming, honestly. Like I just haven't been gaming a lot. What we ended up playing, did we play Halo SWAT last week after
we played Halo? Yeah. And then, after the show, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a little bit of we get some more Smash matches into? I can't remember. That week's kind of floated
this
together.
week I don't know if we did.
Okay. Yeah, but we did a little bit of Halo last week, so that was fun. I mean, I'll always jump into Halo. I love it. And so yeah, I mean it's been kind of a slow week as far as gaming goes, but
at least we got some news to talk about finally.
We do, yeah, we definitely do. So let's jump on over to it. There was a direct. Kind of. There was an indie showcase, and the overall the internet seemed okay with it. They weren't super disappointed like the last one. They seemed relatively happy. It seemed like there was a good mix of games, a wide variety of games. I think that helped. Yeah, definitely. With not only a wide variety, but just a wide variety of genres, from like crafting sims and RPGs and roguelites and all the above. It was very well represented. It also helped
that I think 6 of like the 20 or so games that were maybe, even if they were just flashed up on the screen in the montage, 6 I think of the 20 games are out now.
Yeah, it was,
which also helps a lot.
It does, which was kind of crazy, because it was good for me to see people saying, "Oh, my wallet," because it just showed. I mean, that's proof of interest in these games right there. When people are saying like, "Oh, my wallet's gonna take a hit here." So I was seeing that in the Discord, seeing that on Twitter, and I was like, I was pretty excited to see that was the case, So the showcase started off very strong. Hades right off the bat looked really good. I think it's worth noting that 2 of the games that these guys have made are on sale right now for under $3 each.
On sale, yeah. And I just picked them both up, Bastion and Transistor. Transistor's the newer of the 2. Bastion's been out for a while. I think going back to 360 era.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's been on. It's pretty much on any platform you want to play on. It's on your phone. It's on Xbox, PlayStation, I think PC probably as well, somewhere on Steam probably. And then now it's been on Switch for a while, but it's down from $15. I think I got it for like $2.50. and then Transistor's on sale down from 20 to like $2.99 or something like that. So they're both really on sale. So yeah, if Hades looked interesting, definitely pick those up, and you'll get kind of a taste of what this dev likes to put in their games. And they're both well-received games, so Hades should be really good as well.
It's a little off topic, but every time we get one of these indie showcases, I secretly hope that we are going to get Braid on the Switch. That
we got Castle Crashers, so I mean, there's only a few like big games from Summer of Arcade that haven't made its way over. I think Shadow Complex should come over sometime.
Yes.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing. Yeah, Shadow Complex and Braid would be two of those games that like I just feel like Braid is one of those games that has such an incredible story that, and it's such a great twist at the end that I want more people to experience it. So, and I know people tweet at the developer. It's I can't remember the guy's name, but I just don't know. I'm not sure why we don't see a port of that. It seems like it wouldn't be too difficult, but you never know. So from there, and again, some of these games, I mean, I watched the whole thing. I did a video right after. Some of these games I'm going to remember. Some of these games I'm not going to remember all that well. But was it Hypnospace Outlaw was another one?
Yeah, this is like the 90s browser game that didn't really strike a chord with me, but it's at least funny to see somebody taking old 90s HTML like website design and turning it into a game.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's like a mystery kind of game. You're trying to solve cases and stuff.
Go watch the movie The Net before you play that game. You know, that old Sandra Bullock flick with it was like trying to scare everybody what the internet could be, you know. Spiritfarer is also out, and it's also on Game Pass, so if you have the Xbox you can go
I was seeing this yesterday, and I'm googling it just now because I wanted to double check, but you just confirmed it for me.
Yeah,
I remember seeing this in an Xbox showcase, right?
I possibly, I don't.
The whole building up your ship to do stuff like the big barge that you're living on. That's what kind of sparked it for me being. But yeah, it's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. So now it's on Switch.
There you go. Which I know. I mean, Crafty Becky in chat said she had picked it up. Ninja Penguin is, I believe, he was playing it on Xbox. So, yeah. So there you go. Garden Story is another one.
Plays a grape, and you rebuild your town, and it looked like a kind of a. I definitely got like.
Stardew vibes.
Yeah, Stardew vibes from it, definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got too. Subnautica 1 and 2, which Steel Sand Gaming in chat, he says he likes those, and he's hoping they're going to be good. It looks like they're taking a graphical hit, I'm assuming, based on they
still look decent in the
it
clip.
Did. Yeah, they looked.
I think I claimed those free on Epic once upon a time, and I've never played them. They looked actually kind of interesting, so I might have to boot it up, at least the copies I have.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Takeshi and Hiroshi was another one, and this had like it was like animation. Yeah, like 70s Christmas movie. I was like, where's Mr. Heat Miser? You know, what's going on here? But it looked like a game within a game, a little bit of Inception going on there, and
yeah, you design it's so the older brother is designing a game and the younger brother is playing it, and so you kind of play it and design it all in kind of one fell swoop. And your goal is to make it not too hard but not too easy, I guess. And then I think it's on sale right now for like $8 or $9.
There you go. Raji is the next one, which you said you might pick up.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It's like I don't know if it's necessarily isometric, but I guess it is. It's kind of a fixed camera, and but it's like an action adventure, kind of a little bit of Prince of Persia vibes with like the wall running and some of the action, but it's based on like Hindu lore, and it looks pretty interesting. It's a full development team in India, so I think this whole indie world, because it was definitely an indie world showcase, and they definitely played to the different areas of the world and different studios across the world that were developing stuff. Because I think a game later on down here, Card Shark, I think was developed in Spain, and yeah, so they definitely went all across the world to find some good developers that were making games.
Yeah, absolutely. And moving right along, Bear and Breakfast, which looked like, I don't know, it kind of looked I don't really know. I don't even know how to describe it really. It was just kind of...
I'd almost describe it as like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but for a bed and breakfast. Because it was like attract people to your B&B, and it was like had a bunch of people filing off a bus to come to your B&B. But then there's, I don't know, there's some kind of the trailer just barely hinted at it, but it seems like there's something more action adventure-y that you go off into the woods and go find something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like a theme park simulator kind of thing where you're expanding and developing these B&B rooms to attract customers. But then there's some other aspect to the game that they didn't really touch on a whole lot.
Right. Left a little to be found out, huh? A short hike. I thought it was an Animal Crossing adventure game. I thought it was rolled. I was like, my boy can fly. my boy can fly. Look at him go. So, and he was at one point riding around in a little boat, you know, but some of the other critters looked like they were
cruising, though.
Yeah, it was moving. It looked, but some of the other characters looked like they were right out of Animal Crossing. I was like, oh, this looks like it could be like an Animal Crossing adventure. And I think it's on sale right now for like under $8 if it's
yeah, I think most of the games that came out are at least like $1 off.
It seemed like, yeah. You mentioned Card Shark, which was interesting. It not really something that I would probably play or care to play, but it had it didn't pull any punches. It was like, oh, you're cheating. The dude across the table is trying to shoot you in the face. You know,
try not to get shot, but you're definitely trying to cheat at cards and win money, and I guess you're trying to play your way all the way up to play cards with the king. I guess is what it sounds like.
Okay,
and it's set in France, I think.
Interesting. All right, and then you got Torchlight 3. Which I've never played any of these games, but I'm assuming if there's a third game, they're pretty well received. And I was getting some Diablo vibes from it. Looked like a little bit of a dungeon crawler. So,
yep.
Then Manifold Garden, which I'll be honest,
that looks like it looks interesting. I think it's in first person, but it's like a first person puzzle game that's definitely taking advantage of optical illusion art, and you're trying to make your way through these mazes, puzzles, and if you fail, then you just fall infinitely through the puzzle and then all the way back to the beginning and then start over. So it looks pretty cool.
While we were watching the presentation, Pudding in chat said he actually watched the dev on Twitch make some of the game, and he said it was just wild to watch the way he was doing it. So yeah, the puzzles and stuff, it did look very, like, it looked interesting. I was like, it's just different. It just played into the whole showcase where everything was like, it wasn't like we were just getting one giant JRPG or something. You know what I mean? Like, there was definite variety here. Evergate was up next. That was
got some Ori vibes from that.
Yeah, and Ori and Celeste vibes also.
That's exactly. I was watching it last night, and there's some of the jump elements that definitely remind me of the summit level in Celeste, where you're using propulsion like from the feathers of Celeste. So if you enjoyed some of those puzzles in Celeste with the feathers and the gaining your jump while you weren't above the ground or anything like that, there's definitely some interesting jump puzzle kind of elements to this game, and you kind of control like an Ori like character, and it looks cool.
Yeah,
and that's out. That was one of those that were out now.
Right. And then they showcased a bunch of games, right? And there was a handful of them that, like, some of them, there was the one in particular, I can't remember the name, but it looked almost like monochrome in the way it looked. There wasn't a lot of color, but it had really great pixel art that really caught my eye because I'm a sucker for pixel art. And but then, of course, the thing ended with Untitled Goose Game.
There's one more thing.
Yeah, 2-player update coming soon.
I think September 23rd, I think, is the date. I don't remember Chat might correct us here, but I think it's September 23rd. It's also coming to Steam, I think, on September, that same day.
Got it. And then they showcase the physical also. They showcase the picture of the cart and the case. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was a very solid presentation. You know, I think for me personally, there's not all that much I'm all that excited about. But
there was one glaring omission that a lot of the internet was thinking about and tweeting about on Tuesday night, and that was Silksong.
Yep.
And you had even mentioned it on what night was that? Was that Monday? Was that Monday night?
I believe
that was Monday night, because not Tuesday night. Monday. We're on Wednesday. The week has been long already.
Yeah.
But but yeah, Monday night when we were playing Mario Kart, you were asking me if I thought we were going to see Silksong, and I was hopeful, and the internet was hopeful as well. We haven't seen it. If you aren't aware of what Silksong is, it's the story of Hornet from the standalone that was supposed to be a DLC for Hollow Knight, and it grew and grew and grew, and it became its own thing. So Team Cherry is making this into its own game. We saw a playable demo last year at E3 on the floor. It was, I think, like a half hour or so of playable space that people were able to put their hands on, and we haven't really heard anything since. So it was I think it's supposed to be this year still. But like everything that's happened this year, and they even put a good disclaimer up before Indie World Showcase that COVID could affect these dates and they might not come out when they're saying. So we might be waiting on Silksong a little bit, but it's also grown a little bit in my eyes that it could make its way into Nintendo's main direct when we eventually get it here sometime soon. So you never know.
Yeah, and the other game too that I think it was completely a long shot was Fall Guys, right? And which today was kind of an epic day for that game. Did you watch Tim get his win? I actually had it on.
I saw I saw the clip. I was at work. I had it up for just a little bit when he got close a few times, but he posted his analytics today, and he had over 1.2 million unique viewers. He maxed at like 347,000 viewers. So the Fall Guys Twitter trolling Tim the Tatman definitely boosted his. I mean, he pulls in 30,000 viewers no problem on whatever he's playing, on just chatting, but for him to have an average of 300 and something people watching was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was wild, and it was so funny because you could almost tell that they didn't want it seemed like
he was benefiting more from not winning.
Exactly. Like it was almost like as people were trolling him and getting in his way and trying to throw him off of stuff, like this thing could have just prolonged.
His ad revenue today, his check is going to be very good. Next month.
When he got the win, his chat, you couldn't even see what people were typing because so many people subbed. I think he gained 5,000 to 10,000 subs right after he won the crown. So
he got all their ad revenue before then because they were having to watch ads.
Yep. Yeah. So it's just crazy, and it's like this game came out of nowhere. Like how many thousands of
fun. I still haven't gotten a win yet, but I've just been playing here and there. But I got my very first Hexagon game yesterday because I hadn't gotten a chance to play it, and it's made to look a little bit easier when you watch people stream it, but it's a little hectic just trying to stay on one single hexagon, get the timing, and because you got to do the jump, move, jump, stop, jump, stop, jump, stop, just so you don't burn those hexagons too quick. But there's a lot of RNG, there's a lot of just crazy randomness that can happen.
Well, he glitched through the floor.
He was getting griefed a lot. He was being held and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I think he changed at one point out of his recognizable outfit that he had and just tried to stay away so people couldn't grief him.
Well, him and his team all wore the hot dog, so that they weren't, people couldn't tell if they were messing with Tim or one of his buddies. So it was pretty funny. And at one point he was on the last round and he fell and
I saw the clip where he fell all the way through,
and he just glitched through the floor. So but that's a game that, I mean, bring that to the Switch.
Yeah, and Devolver is a good developer that has seen success on the Switch. I mean, my friend Pedro and
they're the publisher, right? They didn't develop it.
They're the publisher, but but Devolver's the one that negotiated the deal, I'm sure, with PS Plus to get it. That we talked about this, was that last week or 2 weeks ago? The whole Rocket League bump. Mm-hmm. I mean, that just getting the game in the largest install base of a console right now for all of their subscribers, nothing extra really for them to have to do, and it's just there for them to play, just like Rocket League had. And then the Twitter account that's been trolling Tim the Tatman for a week and a half now hit 1 million followers today,
right,
or yesterday or something like that. So like just the social presence, and then what they've been able to do dominating Twitch has gotten a lot of eyes on it. So hopefully something's in the works, and they'll be getting the game out on both Xbox and Switch, and then cross-play I think would be most beneficial for that as well.
Yeah, and it was I don't know, it's just kind of, it was a little bit of a bright spot in 2020, honestly, today, just watching so many people kind of cheer in, and just watching him go for that win. Like, I just happened to finish up streaming, and as I was working on some other stuff, I just threw it on the side and was like, I was gonna turn it off, and I was like, let's see, this round looks like it might be promising, and then he ended up pulling it off. So but some of the clips that they've pulled from that have just been, they've been great. But it's like, how many thousands of indie games have we seen come and go? Even like Goose Game, like, it had a real, but it fell off quick. Like, it started off real strong, but it fell off pretty quick.
And we'll see a resurgence with a free update like this. It'll be good, and it's going to get a physical boost as well, being on store shelves for people to see. And I know we'll probably all boot it up. I'm sure Eric is excited about it, at least a little bit. I didn't play very far through the game, so I'm maybe excited to sit down and play with maybe you or Eric, and we actually problem solve, and maybe the puzzles will be a whole lot easier. Like, even just in that short little clip at the end of the indie world, there was one goose distracted the farmer and the other took the keys. That looks a whole lot easier than trying to do what you had to do in the single player.
Correct, absolutely. So, well, this might be the most exciting news of the day, and I saw this a half hour before we went live, put up a quick video. In the demo of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, in the files, again, grain of salt, right? But in the files, they found pictures of the Switch Pro Controller, the Switch handheld, and the Switch with Joy-Cons. Now, this could be photoshopped, right? It could totally be fake, but supposedly it came out of the files. We don't have an official announcement yet, but Tony Hawk belongs on the Switch. Like, we need Tony Hawk on the Switch. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I have my yellow cart for Tony Hawk 2 down there. I think that was the first one, blue.
Yep.
Like, they were iconic. Like, those different colored Nintendo 64 cartridges stood out in your collection when nobody knew what probably most people had a shoebox almost full of Nintendo 64 carts, and you can't see the front, but you could quickly identify it. It didn't help when 2 or 3 different cartridges came out as yellow,
right? But
you could quickly identify which one was which and pull it out to be able to play it. But yeah, like, that's how I played Tony Hawk, and I've held off. Like, I definitely wanted to pre-order, and I thought about pre-ordering on Xbox, because I think that's where I'll probably play. But yeah, if it comes out on Switch, I don't know if I'd like the graphical hit that it takes, most likely, but it'd be great nostalgia to have. And I'd even take I think I said this last week, I'd take the Star Wars Episode 1 racer treatment for 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
If they have the licensing for it and they could just find one of those port houses that does that kind of stuff and clean it up just a little bit, and give it the HD remake for of the 64 ROM, I would take that on, and I would buy it on Switch, and it would probably be a whole lot cheaper too.
Right. Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance. So this is pretty exciting news for me. I love Tony Hawk.
I'm saying, I'll play devil's advocate just real quick. Like, I think it was probably, most of that was probably farmed on the PC build from the pre-order, and you can plug in a Switch controller to your PC and use it, so maybe that's why that artwork is there, but more than likely, hopefully, it means that it's coming to Switch eventually.
What's interesting is the article that I read made it sound like it wasn't on PC, which I thought was strange. But
I thought it was.
But
I'm not 100% sure, but I thought it was.
And it could. I mean, again,
it's easier to farm files when it's on PC. So.
Exactly. And I had never heard of the site that had posted this stuff before either. But Nintendo Life is the one that then picked it up and put out another article.
No, it's on PC because I've seen it in Epic Game Store. It's definitely on PC.
Okay. Well, again, the wording was just kind of strange on this article, so I wasn't really sure. And I was just trying to get this video out as fast as I could because I was like, "Ooh, this is hot. This is hot." So, yeah, I mean, Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk 1, I played a lot of on the 64. Tony Hawk 2, surprisingly enough, I actually played on PC. Like, that was, I know.
What?
I know. There was a small window of time there where I had the 64 and a PC, and I played, like, Tony Hawk 2, except the control. I hated the controls, and I bought a controller, but it never worked very well.
They have controller options.
Yeah, you could get. There was different brands out there. Logitech, I think, had controllers and stuff, but none of them worked very well. But I played games like Aliens vs Predator quite a bit on PC. Really enjoyed that. So, yeah. But then 3 on GameCube, man, oh man, playing with that little Lucky Charm of a D-pad was tricky, but.
Yeah, to be precise with those directional controls.
Yeah, I got there was that airport stage that I could go for like 15 minutes, like just not touching the ground once. And
I'm trying to think, I must have played 3 on Xbox then.
There's a good chance. My buddy had it on Xbox, but I hated the D-pad on those controllers because they were just like raised up out of the controller. They weren't actually a D-pad. It was kind of weird, but. So anyway, that's pretty exciting. Hopefully this actually all comes to fruition. I can see that game being in a direct. We also know that it seems like Spyro and I believe Crash Team Racing, and I think even the Crash trilogy, all of these games were behind the actual release of. And I could be wrong about some of them, but I know some of them were behind the release.
I mean, there's also been the stuff about the Crash 4 website having Switch logos or dialogue, something hidden in their website somewhere. So, and that hasn't been announced for Switch yet either. So Activision could just be holding back a bunch of stuff that they're not confident that the port can take place in a timely manner, so they don't want to give false hope, or they don't want to get backlash for having it be delayed, or it's just not ready, or who knows. But Activision potentially has some stuff in the loaded and ready to go that could make a big deal for Switch owners.
We don't have it in our notes here, but Nintendo tweeted out the PGA Tour game.
When that comes, I think that comes out tomorrow or
comes
Friday.
Out Friday. But I didn't even this game has not been on my radar whatsoever. Didn't even know it was coming to Switch, and it's also getting like the I believe the tweet was talking about like the course designer or something like that. They got
Shooter McGavin in the game, I think.
So I just want Mario Golf though. Come on, what like yeah. that's all we want. But yeah, the 2K and even the Twitter account was I think the game is coming out digitally on Friday and then physical next month.
Who knows?
I think is what I think.
There's no way to know.
So yeah. But I mean, 2K doesn't have a great track record with Switch games. They've kind of been hit or miss. So
yeah, nobody talk about WWE.
Yeah.
Even on Xbox, don't talk about WWE, Xbox or PlayStation.
Right. So Tony Hawk wasn't the only exciting news. We've had 2 retailers post Skyward Sword for the Nintendo Switch. What?
I'll tell. I bought it for through GameStop. I have it just because I wanted to have a chance to play it, but just the drive to sit down and play with the Wiimote is not really high on my list, so I haven't sat down and played it. But I know it's a great origin story for the Zelda kind of lore, and I would love to sit down and play it. And if there was a better way to play it on Switch with an HD polish, I would be excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm probably halfway through that game on my save. I was streaming it there for a while, and I actually got stuck, but I didn't mind the controls. And I'm not sure why the game got so much hate, because I don't have any, like, nothing bad sticks out in my mind about that game. It felt like a solid Zelda title, and I'm excited to be able to play through it again.
You have to have Wii Motion Plus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't have controller options, which I think pushed a lot of people away.
Yeah. And I could see.
I mean, Red Steel's exhausting if you're sitting there playing Red Steel the whole time with the sword.
Right.
And I think that maybe is what people think of when they think of swordplay and Wii, and they probably didn't want to have to deal with that. And Nintendo doesn't have a great history of doing solid marketing and explaining their games sometimes, so that's probably why it just didn't resonate. I was kind of surprised with all the analytics that we were going over last week. Breath of the Wild is the best-selling Zelda game. I didn't realize. So there's not a 20 million seller Zelda game out there.
Interesting.
I didn't realize that. I thought there would have been at least one of those games would have had more than 20 million copies sold. Ocarina, it would have been what I would have thought it would have been. But
right. I want to mention real quick, Pudding says that it's a really good Zelda, has a good story, the best dungeon designs, but the worst filler. And I can see that. The area that I'm in right now, I'm kind of like, I just want to get through it, but it still wasn't standing out as some like super negative. So Pudding's also asking, do you think the rumored Mario collection could be strong enough to be a holiday release? Absolutely. No question. If Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is sitting at almost 8 million.
January release, and it's over 10 million sold.
Oh, it's over 10?
Is it? Or 8? I don't know what it was.
I thought it was getting close to 8 when we looked at it the other day. I thought it was around 7 million, but
it's in the top 10. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's in the top.
It's in the top 10. I think it's number 10. So and looking at Odyssey and how well it sold, and I really feel that Odyssey played a big part in bringing a lot of people back to the Nintendo brand. Because
that's when I bought. Release night is when I bought my Switch.
Yeah. So there you
Odyssey.
go. And I know I have a handful of other friends that were like, yeah, well, once I saw Odyssey, I was like, I want to play Mario again. Like, and it's just crazy that the Wii U didn't do that. The Wii didn't even do that for some people, but the Switch was able to. So I absolutely think a Mario title this holiday would, and from the looks of it, it's going to be a Mario and a Zelda title. Like that is a winning combination right there for this holiday.
And if they work hard enough and get a Metroid trilogy to come out and accompany that,
gosh,
like
dude.
that'd be a 1-2-3 punch.
Yeah.
If they could do something like that.
Yeah, and then we could be a couple weeks away from an announcement about Game Boy games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64 games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. It's very possible we're getting close to that third year. This will be the third year of Nintendo Switch Online. So,
They added something for us last year.
Exactly. So we'll see. I know with the pandemic and everything, I'm just not sure what if the
64 ROMs are ready to go. They're on the Wii U eShop. They could just roll it out for us.
Get the netcode going for them so we can play online, right? So, Hidden saying Mario Kart 9, give us something. Holy heck, right? Yeah, and it would be great. Mario Kart 9. Ultimate Mario Kart would be great, but it's Nintendo's selling. They're selling stuff like crazy. we as fans, we definitely want to know what's happening. We want to know, like, but if it was old, with Pikmin, Zelda, Mario, and Metroid, if those 4 were to land in the next, if Mario was September, Pikmin was October, Metroid was November, and Zelda was December, that would be great times for
Steele's
being a Nintendo
mentioned
fan.
this in chat as well. There were some Chinese manufacturing reissue statements that came out this week as well, that some of the Zelda amiibo are getting reprints. Interesting enough, the Skyward Sword amiibo was not among them, but I think that would tip their hand too much, I guess, if that was there.
Right.
but yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So because, and the reason I said the Mario, for some reason I saw RGT85, his last video, I didn't watch it, but at least his title is, and I think Spawnwave may have had the same, may have talked about also about a September release for this Mario collection. Again, nothing has been announced officially. We don't know anything, but I don't know where these things, the rumor mill, if it's 4chan or whatever, wherever all this stuff originates, I have no idea, but it would be a great holiday season if we saw Pikmin, Mario, Link, and Samus. That'd be incredible.
And I have this listed here, and I saw one article on it, and I don't know, I think we've talked about this back and forth, and couldn't be, but there's, I think, one retailer somewhere, I think overseas somewhere, I don't know if it was France or Spain or something like that, but had a placeholder, obviously their generic placeholder for a video game that is supposedly coming out in the year that you're talking is December 31st of the year, but apparently Breath of the Wild 2 has a placeholder on a website. Who knows? But I think I did see something in, going back to Skyward Sword, I think I did see something for a Target employee posted a tweet either to Wario64 or somebody that was like, we just saw this in our back system or whatever, for it was a placeholder for Skyward Sword in the Target system. So that could be more fuel for the fire on that one.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning too, in the news here, we don't have it in our notes, but Retro did just post a job listing for a like a head producer, or I think it was producer.
Yeah, we're still 2 years out on that game,
if not 3. Like I'm serious. I have no, like,
I mean, they stripped everything out and they went back to writing a new story. I think they went whatever the progress they had on Metroid, they scrapped it, and they got new lore team in, new writers. They started with storyboards and all sorts of stuff from scratch. I'm guaranteed. And that was a year and a half ago, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, we're at least 3 years out. Two if they're reusing some of their assets.
Yeah, if any of the assets were reusable, it may not be, maybe some of the level design was okay. But I mean, again, to get the game fully scrapped, like, or like, sorry, you're not touching our IP anymore. Like, yikes, I wonder what kind of shape it was in. So, yeah, so it's probably ways out. But I mean, the trilogy would be great. Give Way Forward. Let them make Metroid 5, I believe it would be. Just the 2D side scroller. They did the Mummy Demastered. It's an incredible, Metroidvania style game. Give them the keys to the kingdom with Samus. I've always thought it would be great to have a 2D Metroid that was episodic, and you just got different bounties, and you just went, and as the bounties showed up, you took the missions and had to go do them. And I thought it would be a good way to kind of this was on the Wii U or even maybe on the 3DS, where they could kind of just test the waters, where it was like, hey, if we give this game out in bite-sized pieces, where it's like, maybe a $10 download or $20 download, and then just continual DLC for the people that were still interested, it might be a good way for them to test the waters and help scratch that Metroid itch for the rest of us. Because man, I really miss playing some of the 2D and the 3D Metroids. So fingers crossed we see something. What's the last thing you got on here? It's like a documentary.
Yeah, so this came out today on Netflix. So I think most people that listen to the show and are up on video game, just everything that's happening, would be interested in this. It's called High Score. It's a 6-part documentary series that's kind of going into the first one. I started watching a little bit before dinner tonight, looking into Space Invaders and Pac-Man. And they go through like the console wars, and there's one episode on Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and then like the last one is kind of the rise of 3D graphics, and they go into like the developers that were making Star Fox and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of cool video game history. I think all 6 are around 45 minutes long. So a good chunk of 3 or 4 hours of video game history to watch.
That's awesome. I know what I'm going to be binging tonight. So, and Crafty Becky in chat saying it is good. The second episode is Nintendo. First episode is Atari, which makes sense. So that's great. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up here, shall we? Crawler, where can people find you?
You can find me hanging out in Discord. N64josh.com/Discord will get you the invite. Come play Mario Kart. We were chatting this week, which we hadn't done in a couple weeks. That was fun to do. We got a few people in the voice channel while we were playing. Kept it clean. There were a few no's in there, no swears. So it was pretty clean racing day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the best spot.
Love it. Yeah, come hang out, guys. We'd love to have you hang out. We've been seeing quite the growth. Actually, it's been quite a few people joining every day. So we love seeing new faces.
Come tag me in Discord in like gaming chat if you want to play Fall Guys on PlayStation, because we can get a team of 4 going.
Yeah, maybe we'll set up.
I need your PSN so we can get going.
We'll set up a server for Fall Guys. Yeah, because I think it'll be on the Switch eventually.
It'll eventually make it. Yeah.
Well, guys, you can follow me everywhere at N64Josh. Again, make sure to check out the Twitch chat podcast, Smash Bros Cast coming soon, and Animal Crossing podcast will be a new episode this week also. You can follow this show at NPowercast. The show notes will be available at n64josh.com/NPC282. You want to email the show, questions, comments? We'd love to read them right here on the show. It's npc@n64josh.com. Again, you want to get my book for free, n64josh.com/audible. I am reworking my Patreon, but if you want to help support the content that I create, you can go to patreon.com/N64Josh. We do have the store, which does have masks with the N64Josh logo on them. You can go to n64josh.com/store. There's also a handful of shirts available and coffee mugs. So we do have the Facebook group, which has seen a few new people the past few weeks also. n64josh.com/Facebook group. And you can come talk games there. Probably the place I'm putting out the most content right now, honestly, is TikTok. So make sure to connect with me on there. And thank you guys for listening. I want to say what's up to the chat. Steel Sand Gaming, Hidden Level, Crafty Becky. Let me scroll up a little bit here. Whiskey, Pudding, Lino. Thank you guys for being here. Mr. Addy, thanks for being here with us live. We really do appreciate it. It's a good time. We're going either Tuesdays or Wednesdays because we're trying to work around Eric's schedule so that we can get him every week. We're like, what night? And he's like, I'll try for this one. So that's how it's been going. So we appreciate you guys so much being here live, listening to the audio, watching this on YouTube, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye now.